Hey, super legends, superheroes, and superstars. My name's Dr. Dre, but yes, without the doctor. You're tuned in to Hot Hire, which is the number one place. That's right, I said number one place if you're looking to get into your ideal job in the shortest time possible. So today, absolutely pumped. I've got a special guest. So with this gentleman, we've been connected on LinkedIn for a little while. We've been chatting back and forth, and I've been really interested in his career history. So I wanted him to come on and just share some value of what he's been up to and also tips that he can give to the audience. So I want to say a massive, huge welcome to David Fox. How are you, David?
I'm very well, thanks, Dre. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really appreciate your time. So I know how busy you are, so I really do appreciate it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I've been working in international education for probably about the last 18 years.
Wow. Yep.
I've been all around the world doing this. I was in Hungary, I've been in the UK, I've been in Czech Republic, Australia, and right now a lot of what I do sort of centers on the Asia Pacific region. I guess of that 18 years, about 14 years of that has been in the management circles. And right now, and for the past few years, I've been working for a company called Lexus TESOL Training Centers, which is part of a big education group called Lexus Education. And basically what I do these days is I take education concepts or training concepts from the initial first idea through to development, implementation, marketing, all of that stuff, and then the final delivery at the end there.
So you do the whole lot.
Yeah.
That sounds like a massive job.
It is, but we've got a good team, and we work well together, and we work hard, and you know, we learned very early how to be successful doing this, and basically we've gone from strength to strength.
Okay, so do you have to manage sort of like all aspects of the business as well?
Yeah, with relation to these, yes. Yep. Yeah. So, everything from meeting with stakeholders, from discussing needs and best fit packages for them. We've got clients from a really broad range of sectors. We've got private clients, we've got corporate clients. We do quite a lot of work for some government bodies, particularly in Japan. And basically it's from that beginning, every step of the way through.
So what are I'm just thinking, so I'm really curious. So what are like the major challenges that you come up with? Are they the same all the time, or is it just constantly different? Yeah.
I mean, one of the things about international education is that you're dealing with different cultures and different people in different dynamics. So the things that might work for you, for example, in the Philippines, are not going to work for you in Japan because there's a different business culture and you need to adapt to that. Over the years, I guess I've had a lot of experience with people in different cultural settings, and so it's generally a question of playing a little bit by their rules and making sure you're doing the right thing culturally and getting a fit there, because stuff that's acceptable in the US is definitely not acceptable in Japan. It's a completely different ballgame there.
Right. All right, and I'm sure that you told me that you've delivered some training programs to Liverpool Football Club. Is that?
Yeah, that was a little while ago. Yeah, I started working for an organisation in Liverpool. I was actually in Prague at the time, and they recruited me to come out to Liverpool to help them grow the business. And one of the first things we did was we set up a partnership with Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
And in which case students would come over, they would study with us, and then they'd study with us in the morning, and then in the afternoons they would go and train at the academy with the academy coaches.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was really awesome, and I kind of ran with that through Europe, and then we took it out to China, and we took it to the Asia Pacific region, and it was a really good program for us.
All right, so I'm really intrigued. How did you start that? You know, like where did you think, okay, I'm going to go and target Liverpool and see if I can? Yeah, how did that come about?
It was sort of a concept that we had floating around for a little while. We thought about it, and you know, you're from the UK, so you know how it is. If you're in Liverpool, there's two teams. You're either red or you're blue.
Yeah.
But Liverpool Football Club's got a much bigger name than Everton Football Club out there, and we were really driving at we want to be that quality provider.
Okay.
And so we thought, fine, we'll take a punt. We'll go to Liverpool and show them what we think we can do. And the only thing we can do is try. If they say no, they say no. We'll go to another place. We'll go to Everton. But they didn't. They loved the concept. They loved the idea. They really got behind it. One of the coaches from the academy actually came with me, and we went around Japan and China, going to different education fairs and just presenting the product to the masses. Yeah. And it was a big success. I'm not with that organization anymore, but it's still going.
I love that. That's so cool.
Mm.
All right, can you tell me a little bit about this? So you're studying an executive MBA.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know that I don't see that a lot. So I see like lots of people study an MBA, but not an executive MBA.
Yes. So an executive MBA is it's a study program for people who are already in management positions. Mm-hmm. A lot of times with an MBA, what you'll get people who will go onto the MBA in the hopes of moving into management. Okay. Whereas with an EMBA, you're already in a management role, and it's basically to help grow your strengths and develop areas that maybe you're not so strong at. And it's done in a format that better fits around a full-time working life. Okay. As we've discussed, I've got 2 kids and a full-time job, and then a full-time study load on top of that. So yeah, I don't sleep too much. But yeah, it's a really good program, and it's actually allowed me to develop new products as a part of it. We launched a series of courses, which I designed in one particular subject on the EMBA, and then done the marketing plan for on another subject of the EMBA, come up with the delivery model and the stakeholder engagement on that same course. And then we launched them. And to be honest, when COVID hit, it was the best thing that happened to us, because it allowed us to take our contracts, which were face-to-face, particularly in Japan with the Japanese government, and move them into this online format. And so it's just gone from strength to strength.
Okay, I'm just thinking about your job role. What's your favorite part? So is it, being strategic, or is it, creating these like these modules or these frameworks, and then or the implementation, the delivery? What do you enjoy most?
That's really tough, because it's all pretty interesting. Yeah. You go through a period of okay, so how do we grow this business? How do we grow this company, or this section of the company? What do people want? What do they need? And I think the bit I like the most is that entire process. It's sort of breaking it down into manageable chunks. Okay, first we need to figure out what they want. Yeah. Then we need to figure out how we can provide that. Yeah. Then we need to figure out how we can get it to them. Because if they don't know about it, people don't know about it, then you can't sell it. But it's been a really interesting journey, and it's something that I've kind of picked up on the way. I've had some great mentors in my life, and we've chatted about this personally. There's one of the things I really dislike is when I'm not comfortable or competent at doing something. And so I guess in answer to your original question, probably the thing that most interests me about the role will change depending on how comfortable I am doing it.
Ooh, okay, yes.
So if I'm less comfortable, I want to do it more, and I want to get to a point where okay, I can do this.
Do Do you know what? That's very rare. There's not a lot of people that think that way, because like normally if people are uncomfortable, they don't want to push themselves out to go and sort of.
I like the variety. I like the change. I like learning new things, and
yeah,
it's the whole reason I've decided to go back and do this EMBA as well, is to look at this sort of stuff.
Well, that's brilliant. All right, before we move on to my next question.
Sure.
So every year you've set up is it like an industry?
Yeah, okay. You mean the conference?
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a little while back, a friend of mine and I, she's in the same industry, we got together and we thought, okay, so we've gone from where we started to where we are now. What sort of things do we wish we'd known at the beginning that might have made that process a little easier?
Oh, yeah.
And so Jo, this is the woman that I've been running this with for the last 4 years, we decided that we would put together a sort of industry best practice type event to try and to help people avoid some of the pitfalls that we've found ourselves. It started off fairly small, but it's growing. We've got some big people coming again this year. We've got Cambridge University Press, we've got Pearson Press, we've got English Australia, which is the peak body for English language education in Australia. They've been really supportive and really helpful. This year, of course, with COVID, we can't show up and do it face to face. It's actually on Saturday coming up this weekend. We can't do it face to face, but that's okay. I mean, yes, it's great to be able to meet these people in person and to talk about things and be able to have a time for a chat afterwards. But I see this as an opportunity to take it to a bigger scale. So not everybody has to get to Brisbane, for example. I've got people joining from Korea. I've got a couple of people joining from Japan, and we're trying to make it a bit more, I guess international is the word for it. It's been very grassroots Australian for the last 3 years, but now we've got this opportunity to bring it to a bigger audience. So we've got speakers coming from Japan, of course. We've got a speaker coming from the Philippines, just to give a bigger perspective on how it all works.
So I'm just thinking, like, starting that and like the way that it's grown, I know like putting on events, there's just so much that goes into it, and trying to organise and facilitate and get sponsorship, and that's huge. So
and to be fair, the main drivers are still the two of us. We're the ones who go out and chase the corporate sponsorships, and we're the ones who go out and recruit the speakers and try and get people to engage with us on a professional level there. But having said that, as we've progressed, we've started to gather a team of people who want to help out in any way they can. Just because it's that, this is a completely free event. We make absolutely no money from it. I mean, in the first year, Jo and I put our own money into it to buy the catering stuff. And now we don't have to do that, thankfully, because these great sponsors have come on board.
Yeah, good. That's brilliant.
Yeah. But it is a challenge, especially with work, kids, study, and then a very, very not-for-profit event that you throw in every year just for fun.
Hey, Super Legends, so sorry to interrupt the show. If you do like what you're seeing, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you. So, can you share some valuable tips for the audience?
With regards to?
Yeah, so, careers, or making that step from, when people are, say, leaving education and going on to, that next role. Have you got anything that you could share there? Or?
Yeah, I guess I could look at it from two different perspectives. You've got the employer perspective, and you've got the employee perspective.
That'd be brilliant, yeah.
Because a lot of what I've done over the last few years has involved people coming in from other industries. Okay, and also helping people transition out of education industries and into more, organizational development type roles. So one of the things I've learned from an employer point of view is don't misrepresent your brand. Yeah, don't claim to be something you're not. Sure, we all want to be aspirational, but you need to make sure that you've got a proper employee value proposition. Something that if you want to do it properly, you want to have something that's unique, it's relevant, it's compelling, but it's also got to fit you as a business. Because what you want to do is you want to attract the sort of employees who have the same goals and the same values as you. And if you do that, then there's less chance that you're going to break that psychological contract that you sometimes get in places. Like, if you go to a restaurant and you're expecting 5 stars and you're paying for 5 stars and you get a 1-star meal, that's a massive break of that psychological contract, and you'll never go back.
Never.
So if you want to keep your employees happy and you want to retain them, then you need to make sure that what you're offering is what they think you're offering, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a great tip. So what I do with my clients, at the very beginning when we're going through like the program, we always say get clear on your career vision, and then like the companies that you look for, they want to align the mission, vision, and values align to your personal values. So that's just spot on. I love that. Absolutely love that.
I think possibly one of the other big takeaways for me as an employer is the power of employee referral. When you're looking for stuff, the idea that someone will recommend just their mate to come and work there doesn't happen. I mean, employees will only refer or recommend someone who they know can do the job.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's a very powerful tool. And on the flip side, somebody who's been referred to a position by a current employee probably has a much better idea of the culture of the company and the outline of the role. So you've got more chance to get that organizational fit. Mm. I mean, I've heard of a company, I can't remember it off the top of my head, they don't pay anything for recruitment because their staff recruit all of their future employees. It's a really interesting concept, and it's something that I've started to value more and more over time.
Yeah. So so I call that the hidden job market. So like with my clients, I'm telling them, like if you're going to apply for a job through like Seek or another job board, there's so many thousands and thousands of people that are doing it. So it's really competitive, but it's trying to find opportunities like that through like networking, a friend of a friend. And it just makes that process so much easier because it helps with the know, the like, and the trust factor. So
yeah,
you're dropping some gold. Yeah, love it. Yeah.
For an employee, if you're looking for something, it's pretty much the same thing, but in reverse.
Okay.
Work out what you want. I think there's so many studies out there that show that money is not a massive motivator. What's motivating for people is finding a job that works for them and fits, and whether that's a job that's got autonomy, there's task significance, task identity in there as well. It's not about just looking for a good job anymore. I think it's more about looking for a smart job, and by a smart job, what I mean is something that helps you balance your success. So it's sort of subjective success. So you've got your life success and your life goals, but you've also got your career success and your career goals.
Mm. Love that. All right.
I'd also recommend that you don't stop learning.
I'm with you on that one.
And remember that you're responsible for that. It's not your organization's responsibility to send you on courses all the time. You've got to be a little bit proactive and want to get better for yourself.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite. So I love personal development. And I just think it's just about constantly leveling up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm in an interesting predicament at the moment. I've still got a year left on my executive MBA, and I'm already talking to them about PhDs.
Wow.
I'm possibly a little bit ahead of myself, but it's something I'm really interested in. I think there's so much out there to learn and so much chance for personal growth and development and professional growth and development. So yeah, I'm a big fan of keeping going with that learning process.
All right, so just another question I've just thought of. So, do you like to listen to podcasts, or do you like to actually pick up like a book, or how do you like to take in information?
I used to be a big fan of having to have the book,
yeah.
but as I said, I've got 2 small kids. I don't have time to sit down and read a book anymore. So Audible's great. I get books on Audible. I quite often buy books through the education providers that I need to for my courses, and I just listen to them when I drive. Yeah. Before I started the course, I was doing a lot of podcasts, the 10-minute MBA and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Tim Ferriss, all of that sort of stuff. But now that I've got specific areas of study that I need to do, it's basically the 45 minutes commute into work every morning. Yeah. And the 45 minutes home. That's when I'm taking in the information. Right. And it was interesting. One of my professors brought it up right at the beginning, and I've heard it hundreds of times. CEOs read 1 book a week or something like that. I definitely don't read 1 book a week, but I like the concept. I like the concept that if you're the boss of the company, you're the head of the company, you've gotten to that pinnacle, but you're not stopping. You're always trying to get that little bit better. I think there's something in that for most people.
Totally agree. So I love, there's a saying that I heard of a guy called Tom Bilyeu, who I was lucky enough to meet in February of this year. And he says, ideas in equals ideas out. And I just want to take in as much information. That will just give me loads of other ideas. All right, so what do you have going on at the moment? Do you have any projects, programs? Are you up to anything exciting?
Yeah, we've got a really big. Well, we've got the second half of a really big project to deliver in December.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're delivering a training for high school teachers, primary school teachers, and assistant teachers all across Japan.
Yep.
So normally we'd be going in person around to all of these locations, but we are 100% online, and we are training across the country. So yeah, December is a big month for us. But we've also got some really interesting projects with universities groups. So these are big groups that have universities, they've got high schools, they've got primary schools, they've even got kindergartens in some cases, all under this one banner. Yeah. And we're doing training and development stuff with pretty much everyone, from the teachers to the admin staff to everything. It's really interesting stuff, and it's a lot of different stuff, which again appeals to that variety need that I have.
Yeah. I was going to ask you another question, but I forgot. So, it's about that time. Do you have a dad joke for us?
I've got 2. I enlisted the help of a good friend's 14-year-old, and she's given me a couple that I think are quite good. All right. Okay. All right. So the first one she gave me, what's orange and sounds like a parrot?
I know this one. Mm-hmm. Yep.
A carrot? Yep.
Yep.
And the next one's an oldie but a goodie.
Okay. Yeah.
The graveyard looks overcrowded. People must be dying to get in.
That's my favourite, yeah.
So I'll thank Meg Whitten for those.
Dave, I just want to say a massive thank you for walking us through your career journey. The tips as well, they are absolutely gold as well, and the dad jokes as well. So really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you very much for having me.